All right, so all you'll need is, I've got some open floor space. I've got my mat set up, a chair, and then we'll be using a pillow as well, just a couch pillow. So that's all you'll need for the workout. And I'll let everyone get that stuff. And water, have water by your side because it's important to stay hydrated. So we'll let everyone get that stuff. I'll be demonstrating the exercises. I'll tell you how many reps, and then I'll just periodically come up to the laptop here. I'll look through each video, make sure everyone's doing it correctly, and I'll give you a shout out if something doesn't look right. So, all right, we're gonna start on our back. So I'm gonna head to my mat. So, laying on our backs, grab behind your knee with both hands, and you're gonna kick your heel up to the ceiling. As you do so, you're gonna feel a stretch in the back of the leg, maybe even into the calf, and then go back down. Keep this one gentle. Right now, you're contracting the quad and lengthening the hamstring, so it's a good hamstring stretch. We're gonna do 15 on each side. You'll notice a difference. If you pull your toes up towards your nose a little more, you're gonna feel more of a stretch. But do it within your tolerance. Keep it comfortable. You'll start to feel the quad burning a little bit. You should feel the hamstring lengthening. Trying to get that knee straight. 15 on each side, and then we'll switch. Hamstring tightness is something a lot of people experience, so this is an awesome one to address that. We're looking good. All right, the sharps might have to spread out a little bit for this next one. We're still laying on your back, arms out by your side. You just stretched your hamstring out. You should be able to get your foot up nice and high, and then you're gonna reach for your opposite hand. You can do this with a bent knee or a straight leg. The straight leg is gonna be a little more of an intense stretch. And do about 5 to each side. So you can bend the knee or keep it straight and reach that knee to the opposite elbow. Sharps, don't kick anyone. So we're loosening up the hips, loosening up the back here.
Not easy being pregnant. I can't do it.
Oh yeah, if you're pregnant, some of the stuff laying on your back you can avoid.
Okay.
All right. Still laying on your back. We're you're gonna hook your ankle onto your knee. And then just pull your knee to your opposite shoulder. You should feel a stretch in the outer hip. This we're just gonna hold for about 10 seconds.
This one?
So I can do it from this view here. Ankle on the opposite knee. Pull and hold.
I've done some of these. Would help your hip.
Yeah, I'll do that one.
Well, then get down and do it.
Ankle on the knee, pull and hold. Do 2 on each side for about 10 seconds. You should feel some pulling, some stretching in the outer hip. Everyone's dogs, I think they're playing right now. All right. So next, we're gonna flip over. We're gonna do a couple of yoga moves. So laying on our stomach, hands right below our shoulders. Press the back, chest up, lift the chest, and then roll back down. And go as far as you're comfortable. This can be done standing as well. You can go to a wall and you can do the same thing, allowing the hips to go towards the wall. Or just get some extension in the spine. I want you to do 10 reps. And this should be comfortable. Keep all these ranges pain-free. We're gonna do about 10 there. You should probably feel your arms starting to tire out a little bit. Not quite a push-up, we're just arching our back up. We want some extension in the spine. Good. All right. After that, we're gonna go into child's pose. So glue your feet together, spread your knees out, and then your butt goes back to the heels. Your head should rest on the floor or on your mat. And inch your arms forward as far as they can reach. And now we can just take some nice deep breaths for this one. So we are in child's pose here. Good, relax the head down. Butt goes back to the heels. Deep breaths. And now I want you to walk your hands over to one side. Walk them over, walk them over. And you should feel the side you just went away from, a nice stretch down the side of your body, down the side of your trunk. Same thing, we'll do a couple deep breaths there. That breath should increase that stretch. And then walk them over to the other side. Couple breaths there. All right. Your pillow, if your knees are sensitive on the floor, that's what you can use your pillow for if you need it. We're gonna do cat-cow now. So here, hands and knees, tabletop position. Your hands should be below your shoulders. Knees should be below your hips. You're gonna go into cow pose. So lift the chest, eyes forward, and then you're gonna go into cat. And you're gonna go back and forth between these two. It's a little tough to get the coordination in this one if you're first trying this. But just think when we go into cow, eyes forward, stick your butt out, lift your chest. Then for cat, tuck your tail, arch your back, relax the head down. Hold for a couple seconds in each position. And let's do about 4 in each direction. 4 more. We're all looking pretty good. Cow, we're sticking the butt out, lifting the chest. Cat, arch that back up towards the ceiling. Relax the head, tuck your tail. All right. Let's get up on our feet. You're gonna split your legs apart as wide as they go. And we're gonna reach up as high as we can, interlock the hands. Big bend to one side, slowly bring it back. Big bend to one side, slowly bring it back. You're gonna do 5 to each side. So as you bend, you're going to feel that stretch down one side. Keep it comfortable. I don't want any pain. Good. Now reach your arms out as wide as they go. Spread your fingertips out. And you're twisting and back. About 5 to each side. Turn your hips. All right, so that's a gentle little warm up. We've hit on a lot of areas. We got our spine moving. We got our hips loosened up, hamstrings lengthened. We got the blood flowing. You should feel a little warm now. And we're gonna get into the workout. So we're gonna be alternating between 2 exercises, okay? The first 2, pull up my notes here. We're gonna do a squat and a bridge. There'll be modifications too if we need. You can make this as hard as you want. And I'll show you how we're gonna do the squat. So you can use a chair. I'll tilt the camera down. We've got the chair. You can go down, tap your butt, and then come up. That's option 1. That's pretty easy. You can make that as hard as you want. You can add weight. If you have weights to it, you can hold the weight close to your chest, like that. Or we can do going down with 1 foot to the seat and up with 2, down with 1, up with 2. Or you can go down with 1 and then up with 1. That's the hardest. So we've gone from the squat to the chair and up. That's the easiest. Moderate is down with 1, up with 2. And then the hardest is down with 1 and up with 1. Okay? So we're gonna do 30 reps total. So if you're doing 1 leg down and 1 leg up, you're gonna do 15 on each leg. Good. So we get started up. I'm gonna do the 1 and 1. You guys can count on your own. I gotta count for me, so. I'm at 7. So I got 15 on 1 leg. I'm gonna switch to my other leg. So we ended up doing 30 total. Make sure you're getting really tall at the top. I want you to squeeze your glutes. Get all the way up nice and tall, full hip extension. Keep it going. Should be feeling the legs now. So we got 30 there. Okay. So that got me breathing a little heavy. Hopefully it did for you guys. We're going to be coming back to those because this is 2 exercises. The second one is a bridge. So laying on your back. Nicole, I'll have an alternative if you don't want to lay on your back. Lifting the hips straight up. So same with the squats. We can do 2 legs or you can do 1. That's a 1 leg bridge right there. Okay, so you got 2 legs. Pretty easy. Or 1. We do the same reps, 30 total. So if you do one leg, it's going to be 15 on each. If you don't want to lay in your back, we'll still get the glutes standing and kicking your leg back. So your leg stays straight. And you can do 30 on each leg. You really want to feel this in the butt cheek. So either 30 bridges total with both feet, or we're doing one leg at a time. And you can do 15 on each side. Once you're done those, you're going to go back to your squats. If you did the double legs last time, try the single leg. So we're going to do 30 squats again, either 15 on each leg. If we're doing the single leg squats, one thing to watch out for is knee control. So we don't want the knee dropping in. Keep it in line with your hip and your foot. So 30 more squats. Gotta love squats. So either 30 squats or 15 on each leg. Everyone's looking good. And then we're going back to the bridges once you finish the squats. If you did double leg bridges last time, challenge yourself and try the single leg. So after 30 squats, we're right back to the bridges, or if we're not going on our back, we're standing at the wall, keeping the legs straight and kicking back. That's another option if we're not going on our backs. You're still working your glute. Very important muscle. Feel free to type into the chat with any specific questions. We'll go over specific stretches and things after the workout. Nice, Nicole. Are legs feeling good? All right. Like people are on their second set of bridges, should be wrapping up. Keep pushing. We got upper body next, so that will give your legs a little break. All right, so we should be breathing a little bit now. Maybe not quite breaking a sweat yet, but that's okay. And we're gonna do push-ups next and side planks. So two really good body weight exercises, kind of the best bang for your buck exercises. We're gonna go over a few ways to do a push-up. So we'll go from easiest to hardest. If you have your chair or you have a couch, you can do an elevated push-up. So that will look like this. Okay. The higher your hands go, the easier it's gonna be. I have an arm of a couch here. So that's nice and high for me to do. So that's the easiest. Next would be on the knees on the floor and going down. That's a little harder. You're feeling the arms a little more there. And then up on the hands and toes and down will be the hardest, okay? So let's go through that. We're gonna do 10 push-ups if you're doing full push-ups from the floor, or 20 if you're gonna do elevated.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
What if you had an elbow bleed? Is the easy one is okay?
Yes, do the elevated ones. You can even do it on a wall. So you can go as high up as a wall.
Okay, I'll do
If
the wall.
you've had an elbow bleed,
Okay.
that's really good. You're not really putting too much stress to the elbow. So the higher your hands go, the easier it's gonna be. Nice. Tommy, I like the little elevated perfect push-up handles. Those are awesome. All right. Let Nicole finish up. So we're gonna go 3 rounds of this one, but we're gonna do side planks next. So we're gonna go from easy to hard. Prop your elbow down below your shoulder, on your knees, and then you're gonna lift your hips up. You're gonna hold for a 30 count. Nicole, this is probably a good one for you to try. If you want to make this harder, you can go from your feet. If you want to make that harder, you can raise your leg for the whole 30 count. Okay? About 15 more seconds. And then switch sides. So again, I can bend my feet back, go up from my knees. You're gonna feel this side working, you're gonna feel your shoulder working. Or you can go from your feet, here. If you want more of a challenge from here, we're lifting the leg. About 15 more seconds. And if you need a break or you want to just go up and down, you can totally do that too. All right, so we got 2 more rounds of that. So if the 10 push-ups are easy for you, push it to like 15, 20, whatever you can get in. Anyone have any issues with the push-ups? Greg, we need a senior citizen class. Greg, you can definitely do the wall push-ups. So I'll show you the wall push-ups again. Hands on the wall. Bring the chest towards the wall and push away. Okay? You're getting good stretch out of your forearms. You're getting the arms moving. So 10 or 15 push-ups, and then you're going right back to the side plank. You're on your own. Make sure you're counting to 30. In the side plank, you want to bring your hips forward. Bring your hips as far forward as you can. You want the body in a perfectly straight line. The arm that's on the ground, get that shoulder away from the ear. Nice push-ups, Rich. So you're counting on your own there for your side planks. Those look good, Nicole. You can do about 10 raises and then switch sides. Tommy looking good. Carol killing it. Laura, very nice work. Sharps are killing it. Julia, I'm sure you're killing it. I can't see you. Donovan, I'm sure you're killing it. So 30 seconds each side, and then we're going back to the push-ups once again. We're going to be jacked. We're going to be ready for beach season once the beach is open. All right, we got one more round. Back to the push-ups and planks is the third set. If your arms are feeling it now, you can modify those push-ups. You can go to elevated. Nicole, bring your hands down a little bit. Yeah. Nice, Laura. Those look good. Shoot for your 10. It's probably getting hard now as we get up to 10. And then we are back to the side plank. So the side plank really strong through that arm on the ground. Get that shoulder away from the ear. Don't just come down here. We need to get strong through there. You should feel this working. These are your obliques. Really important part of your core. George, you can use your pillow on the floor to cushion the knee a little bit. So this can go under the knee. And you're just pushing up through. All right. Everyone through their planks. Looks like Tommy's still going. Laura's still going. Sharps is still going. We have a pretty mellow one after this. This is great for ankles, knees. Grab some water. Anyone sweating yet? All right, good. Starting to sweat. So this is where your pillow can come into play. We're going to do just balance on one leg, okay? Standing on one leg is really important for recovering from ankle bleeds. Or if you're like me, my ankles are destroyed, really arthritic. So it's important to keep your proprioception and your strength in the ankle. So we're just going to be balancing for 30 seconds. We're going to do 3 times on each side. This will allow us to let the heart rate come down a little bit. And we got varying difficulties for this one. So you have your chair by your side and simply just standing on one leg. You could use the chair if you need. If we're past this, if you could do this all day, get your pillow on the floor. It's going to make it a little more challenging because it's a little harder to stabilize, okay? If you could do this all day, get your leg moving in 3 directions. All right, you can see that kind of threw me off a little bit. Leg moving in 3 directions. So you've got balance one leg, use your chair if you need. Get rid of the chair, no hands, or get that leg moving. All right, do about 15 more seconds on that leg. The goal is lasting the whole 30 seconds on that one leg. Good, switch sides. Let's do the other leg. So I'm on the pillow and I'm gonna get my other leg moving 3 directions, forward, to the side, and back. You should feel the muscles in your feet gripping the floor. You should feel that ankle wobbling, muscles around the ankle working. That's really what we want. Okay, switch sides. Another 30 seconds on whatever leg you started with. All right, and then switch. You're probably noticing you have one side that's harder than the other. That's the side you may want to, when you're doing this on your own, just add a couple extra sets in. That side needs more work. It's weak. You might actually even be feeling this in the hip too. Really important. Standing on one leg, your hip's going to be working as well. All right, switch sides. We got one more set on each leg. Use your chair if you need to for safety, no falling. Okay, switch sides, last set. Sharps, you guys have to do it synchronously, synchronize balancing. All right, very nice. Grab some water, guys. We have two more exercises. This is like the finisher. You can make this as hard as you want. Lots of options. Does anyone know what mountain climbers are? Oh yeah. So we do mountain climbers and planks to finish. So these are both going to target your core and the shoulders, okay? I'm going to run through a few different options. Don't start yet. I just want to show you how to do it, and then we'll do it all together, and I can help you guys out. So you're going to take what you did with the push-ups, and whatever position you found comfortable for the push-ups is what you're going to do for the mountain climbers. So if you liked your hands elevated, that's what you're going to do for the mountain climbers, okay? So mountain climbers is just here. So we're getting the knees to come up. You can go fast like this, or you can do one at a time. It's up to you, okay? You can do this on the wall as well, here, okay? Or you can do it flat ground, like this. And again, you can do one at a time, like so. If you need to take a break, drop down to the knees. So that's the first one. Then we're gonna get into a plank. I like doing planks from the elbows because my elbow doesn't really tolerate staying on my hands for too long. So I will go from here and drop into the plank like so. And we're gonna go for a minute. So you can do the same thing on the chair. You can go from your hands. If none of those work, you're gonna lay it on your back with your legs out. The closer your knees are to your chest, the easier it's gonna be. The further away they go, you're gonna feel it in the core. So we're gonna do those two. We got mountain climbers, we're gonna do 30 reps, and then you're gonna do a minute plank. Roughly a minute, it's up to you to count, so 30 mountain climbers, let's kick it off. Good, Nicole. And you're counting 30 total. So every time one knee comes up, that's 1 rep. Another modified for the mountain climbers is again at the wall, as Nicole is perfectly demonstrating. And then the plank. You can use your chair, you can use the wall, or you can do the other modified version. Plank here. Keep your hips up. Don't let them sag. You're counting to 60. This should all be here. Nicole, that looks perfect. Sharps at it. Carol, nice job. Laura, looking good. Tommy's killing it. Right into his mountain climbers after his plank. Take breaks too. Nice, Nicole. Type into the chat if you have any questions. We're going to do 3 rounds of this. This is the finisher. I find that planks are all about mindset. Just when you're about to give up, go for another 10 seconds. Shoulders are probably feeling it. We got 2 minutes left, and I'll open it up for questions if people have them. But try to get 3 rounds, 2 or 3 rounds of this. 30 mountain climbers, 60-second plank. How are the sharps doing? Good. Nicole, bring that low back up a little higher. Yeah, right there. Hold that. Laura, looking good. Nice job. All right, once we get 3 rounds, grab some water, catch your breath. You can open it up for questions, and then actually I do want to go over a couple stretches, but I'd rather people ask questions and we can address some things because did we break a sweat? Sweet. George, how many calories does this workout burn? Hard to say. It depends really on how you work. It's really dependent on you, yourself, how high your heart rate gets up. You know, the technology nowadays, they have those watches that will tell you how your heart rate and they calculate how many calories you burn off that. If I were to guess, maybe 100 100 to 400 calories. I don't know. It really depends on how hard you work and how much you're sweating and how high your heart rate. Yeah, all of them. Good. Yeah, you can eat. You can eat that extra donut or something today. Treat yourself. When your joints click from doing some of these exercises, what does that mean? Clicking in the joints, it could be a bunch of different things. As long as there's no pain associated with the clicking, I'm never really concerned about it. Our joints have a capacity of range of motion. I'll use my elbow for example. This is as far as my elbow can straighten, and that's as far as I can bend. And I have a lot of crunchies in there, a lot of clicking, crunching, popping. So I found when I'm more mobile, moving it more, I get less of those. But that's the crunching I get. That's arthritic, that's joint damage, that's bone on bone, cartilage, things like that. The knee clicking, that's pretty normal. If you haven't had bleeds in the knees, or you've had a few, but they're not really a target joint, that's normal for your knees to click or pop. Your joints have fluid in them. They're synovial joints. So when volume changes, so if we bend the knee past a certain point, it releases gas in the joint, and that's what the pops are a lot of times in the knees or our back or our knuckles. That's gas release in the joint. So that kind of pop is pretty normal. Shoulders tend to click a lot. There's a lot of different tendons and other structures crossing each other in the shoulder, so it's pretty common to get clicking in the shoulder. How often are these exercises good for being weekly? Yeah, I think hemophiliac should be working out 4 times a week at least. And you can, if you're on Profi and you're doing 3 times a week, perfect. Infuse in the morning and then challenge yourself, do a hard workout. But I would say that if you worked with a PT in the past, or a trainer or someone along those lines, or use me as a resource, I'm happy to help anyone coming up with an exercise routine. So, but I've found that most hemophiliacs that are weightlifting, that are doing, moderate to heavy exercise, really respond well, as long as they're infusing properly and following their treatment schedules. So my personal experience, I've had my elbow's pretty deformed and my left ankle is pretty much fused. And my right ankle, I had the synovial lining taken out, which really helped when I was a teenager or late teen. So I've had my fair share of joint issues, and I found that when I'm more active, I feel better. And obviously to a limit. I tried running last year. I tried getting into running. I've never been a runner, but my ankles just can't handle it. I'm sure if I really worked hard to get my strength up, I could handle it, but my ankles aren't in any shape to be running a marathon, I don't think. So we can, I'd be happy to do this weekly if people are pumped on it. Does anyone have specific exercises for chronic degenerative ankles or elbows or knees, or we can run through that as well. We have a little time. Elbows and knees. Yeah, that first exercise for the knees, that one's awesome because you're strengthening the quad, kicking through, and then you're lengthening the hamstring. So that's really good. The tighter our muscles are, the more compression we get in the knee, you may be more apt to having a bleed. And then I want to show 2 stretches that we can all do. So this will be a hamstring stretch, it's a little different, and then we'll do a hip flexor stretch as well. So just need a little place to elevate your foot. And here. And then I'm gonna keep my back straight. I'm not gonna slouch like this. I'm gonna keep it straight. I'm gonna think about bringing my chest towards my knee. So here I'm gonna get a good hamstring stretch here. And you can hold this. This is really holding as long as you want, up to a minute. And then you're switching sides. So that's a good way to stretch the hamstring. Another good stretch is hip flexor. So kneeling. A lot of people will fall into this like this. That's not really the proper way to stretch your hip flexor. And this is great for low back pain. You want to tuck your pelvis underneath like so, and then shift forward, and you'll feel a strong stretch in the front of the hip. So that's to loosen up hips, hamstring from the knees. Oh, Rich, that's iliopsoas stretch right there, what I just went over. That can help tighten that area. Yeah, so it's a chronically tight muscle for mostly everyone because we spend so much time sitting. So when we're sitting, we're in hip flexion, so we're gonna get tight there. So this is hip extension. And the way to stretch that iliopsoas muscle is to tuck, shift. You're gonna feel a really strong pull there. Again, it's a muscle stretch. It shouldn't really be painful. You should feel tight. Give me a thumbs up if you can feel that in the front of the hip. Yeah. So that one you can hold for like 30 seconds. And Rich, those mountain climbers, those are really good to strengthen the hip flexor too, or just get more activity there. Maybe done at a slower pace so you can really focus on using the proper muscles, because all your bleeding there, I'm sure your hip flexor is really tight and weak. So this is a good way to stretch it, and a good way to strengthen would be to do those mountain climbers, maybe slower, or even just standing marching. You're gonna see maybe that one knee can go up higher than the other. And I'm sure the knee or the hip that has more bleeding might be a little weaker. So just doing the marching, you're strengthening the hip flexor here. But mostly everyone is tight in their hip flexor. You're either tight and you're weak, or you're tight and you're strong. So everyone can benefit from stretching the hip. Does anyone have those like rubber bands? If you've ever done physical therapy, you get those looped bands. Let's see here. I'll dig one out. So something like this. These are pretty cheap to order too on Amazon. Mine perform better. This exercise is good for ankles, hips, knees. Our knees and our ankles really rely on our hips to be strong. So this one is perfect for that. So you really take the band, put it around the feet. I think everyone can see that. Slight bend, and I'm stepping to the side. So this works my hips, which is really important for support of the knees and the ankles. So these are great for knee bleeds. I should say more like after a knee bleed, or as prevention or reducing risk of bleeds. While you're in a bleed, you obviously want to infuse and rice. So I didn't touch on elbows, but elbows really just restoring range of motion is important. My elbow is probably the worst with my bleeding. there's not much joint left to bleed anymore, so it's just really fibrotic at this point. But I could have done a better job when I was younger of making sure I restored my range of motion. My left one is good. So I think elbows, it's about getting back whatever range you lose from a bleed and then getting your shoulder strong, because our shoulder is our support system for our elbow. So really, any weakness in the shoulder, you're causing more stress on the elbow, maybe prone to more bleeds. So it's 11 o'clock. I think that we could wrap it up with that. Like Rich said, it'll be recorded. So if you want to run through this workout again, middle of the week, maybe try Tuesday and Thursday to do it. Try to get it in twice. And I'll put my email in the chat. You can email me if I didn't get in depth enough about something. And Nicole, that hip flexor stretch is great for you to do because your hips are really tight. And the side planks are really good for you to do. The hamstring stretching, child's pose probably felt good for you to do on your hands and knees. So those are great because your back is going to take a toll, especially like second trimester as you get into your third.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jeff. Let's give Jeff a big round of applause because that was awesome. We so appreciate you taking the time this morning and taking us through a journey of things to do from home that are bleeding disorder specific. And you have such a wealth of knowledge. So we're going to send a survey out to everyone on here. How often do you want them? I know, Nicole, you said weekly. But instead of doing it right now, we could just do a quick survey to see what are some other things that you would like in terms of stretching and exercises, and we'll see if we can get others. But for those that are on here this morning, please invite others. I think in a virtual format, sometimes people don't know what to expect, but this was incredible. So if you know someone that could benefit from this, and if we do this on a more regular basis, please, I think it's up to each one of us to give a quick Facebook message, text, email, and invite them to this. But as Jeff said, this is going to be recorded. We're going to put this up and hopefully it can help others. But Jeff, again, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone.